Hi, Doug Peacock here. Hey, I said the other day that I was going to share with you a video on how to energetically unhook yourself from other people's agendas that drive you nuts. You know, we all get caught with it. And one of the things that I want you to be to know that is other people aren't at fault for sending out these hooks. We all do it. You know, one of the things to be mindful of here is how we throw out hooks, how we deal with them, and the best way is how to stop ourselves getting caught. You know, we see it all the time. Family are great at doing it. You can be going along life, everything's working fine, and then all of a sudden someone comes along, they say something and knocks you off balance, and you just mull it over in your head. And yet this thing, we spend so much time thinking about this so-called problem or whatever's going on, and we're just wasting all this energy. What's happened from an energetic point of view, and this is what I want to share with you guys from an energetic point of view, what happens and how often it can happen to us and how often we may do it to others. And when you become consciously aware of it, what tends to happen is you can unhook yourself and become so much more loving, caring, compassionate with what's going on. So the first part about it that I want you to become aware of, and I want to share with you, you know, you guys are looking at me on this video and you're seeing me, and my question to you is, where do you see me? And you may say, well, I see you on the video. Well, the thing is, no, you see me in your mind. You get the light comes through, goes in the eyes, and the eyes make a picture in your mind. So you're seeing me inside yourself. You're hearing the voice, my voice, and you'll be saying, well, I hear it in through my ears. But it's not in your ears. It's inside your mind. And you may be sitting on a chair or whatever you're doing, and you can feel the chair pushing up against your body. The question that you ask is, well, where do you feel that? And again, it's inside of you. So when people throw out these energetic hooks, everything is happening inside of you. And when you recognize that no one can do anything to us, that it's just inside of us, then we actually start to look and go, well, hey, what can I do about this? You know, because nobody makes us feel good, nobody makes us feel bad, it's just how it is. So at the end of the day, what I want you to look at is when someone throws an energetic hook out at you, here you are going along and you'll be vibrating at whatever frequency you are or in certain coherence, and they throw out this hook, which causes a disturbance in your energy field. And what generally tends to happen is it catches on to some old belief or an emotion with inside of you, and they'll have an agenda. They probably want to get something done, or they want you to do something for them. So there's this agenda going on, and it causes an irritation within you. And what we look at is, well, hold on, what's the irritation? Why is it being caused? And what do I do about it? Rather than spending time trying to work out how to fix it, or waste a lot of energy trying to make it right for them. You know, we look at this and you think about, how often am I talking and trying to get a resolution with them? When you may talk to the person and you get a resolution with them on a certain level, yet it still bothers you, and you find you're doing your work or you're going about your day, you're spending your time with your loved ones, and this thought of this thing that this person said to you, it just keeps rolling around in your mind. And then you may find you share it with people and you share it out there, and what happens is when we're sharing it out, we're just getting more different ideas, but the whole time we're feeding it. Now, a lot of people, when they throw out these hooks, especially when it's done from a negative place, is they are quite often unconscious, and in the unconsciousness they throw out a hook, and they're a bit like a vampire, where they're hungry, they have some pain within inside of themselves, they don't feel whole, and they're needing to feed. And if it catches on you, then when you give it all the thoughts and the emotions that are going on with it, you're actually feeding them. The energy is leaking out of you, and you're wasting your time and energy in that, and it's going out, and they're feeding. Think about it for a moment. Have you ever been in a time where you've had an argument with somebody, and here you are having a disagreement, the argument, and then at the end of the argument, you so-called win, for want of a better word. And here you are, you win, you feel good. You feel quite, oh great, that was really good, we got that cleaned up and I'm all good. But what we look at here is you have taken the energy. The energy that was involved in the argument, you have taken it and you've fed, you've filled up. And think about it when you've lost an argument. You know, if you've had a disagreement and you've sort of lost it, or that you had the energy taken from you, they overpowered you or whatever it was, you quite often feel drained and exhausted and you go, oh man, I feel like crap. And what you look at here is you go, damn, I've just been, I either gave them my energy or I've been raped of my energy. They took the energy from me. And we've all felt it when we've felt drained after a heated conversation or something, or we've felt great after we've sort of had a heated conversation and we come out on top. And so we look at this, and these are the hooks that I'm talking about, these energetic hooks. People do it all the time for their agendas of what they're wanting to achieve in life, or they want to get something done, so they throw out their behaviors and their emotions on a certain thing. And if it catches you, one of the things to be mindful on is, what is it doing? How am I being caught? What is it that I'm doing, and how am I being caught? So the questions that we start to ask here is, we start looking at them and go, okay, what am I going to do here to get rid of this so I am no longer caught? And what I do is, I get you to ask a series of questions. You know, my clients, and this is a process I've done for myself for years, and I get my clients to do it. The first thing you've got to do is, how are you perceiving what's going on? If you perceive it to be a certain way, then, and there's resistance there, then you have to look at your perception. So you step back a bit. So the first step that we go, as we look at it, we says, okay, is it them? Is it them that's peeing us off? Is it then where we've got conflict? Is it the person themselves? And if it's not them, then you ask the next question, is it what they said or how they said it? Is it what they actually said? Was it the words that they said to you, or was it the tone that they said it to you in? Were they talking down to you? Was it manipulating? Was it bullying? What was it like? And you ask yourself, wow, is it the tone that annoyed me? Or is it the words that they actually said? And you have a look at that and see if that annoys you. And then the third step, or the third thing that you ask yourself, is it what they represent to me? So as it wasn't the first one, if it's not them, if it's not what they said, is it what they represent to you that's causing the hook to catch in on you? And what you look at it here, when you look at this, you look at it and you go, is it by what they represent? I mean, are they an authority figure? Are they like a mother figure or a father figure? Or is it a representation of something that you don't like? And it'll probably be triggered for something in your memory and from your past. And you look and you go, oh yeah, that annoys me. So what that we do then is, once we know which area it's in, we then go and we allow ourselves to shift into the next step, which is writing down what are the emotions and the thoughts that are attached to it. You know, the emotions we can suppress down, and we have them inside of us in our energy field. And when someone throws out an agenda, they throw this whole hook out, and it catches on the emotion, and then it hurts. And what it does is, it can either fire us up, make us feel hurt, make us feel worthless, make us feel grief, greed, whatever. And basically it tends to be a negative emotion that tends to pull us down. And when we look at it, we go, oh, okay, so I've got these negative emotions that they're hooked on, and then you'll have a whole string of thoughts. The main thing that we look at, though, is I want to get you to look at the emotion. What emotion have they caught? What emotion is it bringing up inside of you? And then you'll find you'll have a dialogue of blooming thoughts. There'll just be heaps of them, and they'll be belief systems and things like that. I'm not too concerned about at the moment. What you look at is, what's the emotion that it's catching me on? Then what we go and do is, once you go ahead and write them down, I'm going to give you a PDF workbook that you can download and go through this, so you can actually clean it out yourself. So then the next step after that, what we do is, we then, once we know what the emotions are, the negative emotions where we're getting caught, what this their agenda's been catching us on, we then ask ourselves a question. This is a really important question to ask yourself. What is the basic emotion that I've been ignoring to have this problem? So for this person to chuck out a hook, they've caught you, they've said something and it's running around in your mind, you ask yourself, what's the basic emotion that I've been ignoring? And you look at it and you go, well, I don't know. Most people say, I ask my wife, she goes, well, I don't know. And this is where I tune in. This is where I use my gifts of being able to read energy and go, oh, this is what's going on. But basically, so you'll get it. And what quite often this energy here will be a positive one. It'll be, something like a connection, joy, self-acceptance, willingness to take action, courage. Could be an emotion like that, but you're being unwilling to take ownership and be able to step into that emotion because you've had those other ones that have been triggering you. And this person's agenda, when they've come in and thrown the hook on you, they've caught on your old way of being, on those lower vibrations, and they're able to suck from you. And the more that you think about it and the more that you pour emotion into it, you are feeding them. They're feeling good, and you go, well, geez, I feel like crap. And I can't keep my productivity up. I can't keep things going in the relationship. It keeps bouncing back to this. And so what we do is as soon as you become aware of what the higher emotion is, then what we're able to do is we're able to step into a place where we can start to make change. Now, before you have awareness, you can't do anything about it. Once you have awareness that you are caught or you're being irritated by something, you are at the first step. The second step is to acknowledge it. Acknowledge that it was yours. Like I said at the start, everything happens within us. Nobody can do anything to us. Any emotion, anything that's going on in our world is created from within. When we recognize that and acknowledge that in ourselves, we're able to then take a step forward. So the first step is awareness, second step is acknowledgement, and the third step is to accept it. Accept that, hey crap, I've got that. I do hold those emotions in me. I do have that anger there. I do have that low self-worth. I do have that resignation where I won't take action. I do have that going on, whatever in that area, whatever they've hooked on to. And then by acknowledging those things inside of you, you're not wrong or you're not bad or anything. It's just something that's playing out. So then what we do is we allow ourselves, we move into the space where we make the change work here, is we actually allow ourselves to just let go. We let those emotions come up, those negative emotions where we've been getting caught. Don't worry about the thoughts so much. They'll take care of themselves. But the first thing is, you got the emotions that rise up. As the emotions rise up, you let them go, they just come up. And they're just like, they're just energy. And they just come up and blur. And like I did this practice on myself. I got caught not long ago. And I had this energy come up of stubbornness. And I'm doing this process, exactly what I'm teaching you here. And I'm doing this process and it just sat there. Do you think it would go? No, it was a stubborn piece of crap. And it just sat there. And it sat in my field for about 4 or 5 days. And I'm watching this black thing just as I'm walking around. I've got this black energy in my field, because I can see that sort of stuff. And I'm looking at it, but the whole time I'm just in surrender, allowing it to be there and not trying to get it out because it's clamped like a fist and no way was it going anywhere. And so I just surrendered to it and let it go, let it be there. And letting it be there, after about 4 days, it began to let go and it just dissolved. That stubbornness and that issue, so to speak, it just totally let go. The whole time that energy was there, and when I let go of those old energies, I also ask for the higher frequency of that emotion that I have been ignoring, like joy, acceptance, willingness to love myself, connectedness, whichever one it is for you. And I allow myself to let go of the resistance to allowing myself to be in that frequency. Now, what happens here from an energetic point of view? So we started off, if someone's gone and said something and it's like hooked into you, so they've got an agenda of what they wanted to do. They either wanted to feed or they wanted to get control of something, or they had pain inside of them. They weren't feeling whole, so they throw out a hook. And that's why we do it too. If we're finding with family or something like that and we're a little bit off balance or someone annoys us, we throw out a hook. Hey, I've been guilty of it. My mother-in-law comes along and I'll throw out bait into the water just to see if she bite. I play with it a little bit. Hey, I'm not perfect, but hey, who cares? At the end of the day, you be aware, when you're aware of this stuff, you see the hook go out and the hook catches in the density of the lower emotions. And it's like a grappling hook and it just hooks in. When you let it go, what happens is when you release these emotions, what happens is it becomes spacious. and there is nothing to grab onto. It's like the hook's trying to grab onto fresh air. It can't, and it just pulls straight through you, and you find you're left in this place of acceptance. You see the person maybe still doing what they're doing. So they may still be throwing out their agenda, trying to hook you again. But what you find is your perception has now shifted. You'll find your thoughts will be different. And as you're sitting there with them, what happens is you just look at it and you go, yeah, and you can have compassion for the person because you see that they are in some sort of pain and they're looking to try and feed. So the big thing about this is when you can raise your frequency up to the higher levels, you will tend to find that you are able to just push through it and won't get caught the same. So in a nutshell, I'm going to have that PDF that I'm going to put a link on in the comments when I've finished this, and you can get the PDF and download it. And it's got the step-by-step on what to do, on how to empower yourself so that you don't get caught by other people's agendas. Remember, people throw out hooks all the time. You do it yourself. You know, sometimes we do it out consciously, like I do with my mother-in-law when I'm playing with her. Other times we do it when we're in pain and we throw these hooks out because we're wanting to feed. We're wanting to fill ourselves up and feel whole. So what we tend to do is people suck energy off each other. When you're aware of what's going on, you just pull the hooks out by doing these processes. You move into a space of love, and then if you want to give them some energy, you can do it. And, you know, but it doesn't get taken from you. It brings you into a powerful place. And if you know the person well enough, you may be able to hey, let them watch this, and then they can see what they're doing and then move forward. So at the end of the day, that's basically this simple process. I've used this for years, and it helped me in great stead when I used to get really cranky when, you know, someone would do something. I'd say they're trying to be controlling or whatever. I'd do this process. What is it about? And it's really helped me in my life. And one of my biggest things, you know, on the TV behind it, you said, I want to help people heal their lives by remembering who you are. And when we remember who we are actually these beautiful beings of light, and we resonate in these high vibrations. It's just that we get caught in our old programming, and we don't need it. You know, we don't need to be there. And it's about just coming into a place of acceptance and loving ourselves. So, hey, I hope this has been helpful. Leave us a comment, and I'd love to give you some feedback. Have a look on the website. There's more stuff about this, and I'm going to be doing some more of these, so keep it in mind. Take care.